Something out of a horror film unfolded at Travis Scott's recent concert at the Astroworld Festival. A shocking crowd surge, many who attended were left traumatized. Here's everything you need to know about the tragedy that took place at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival and what the subsequent reports have revealed. Let's begin. What's a crowd surge? Starting with one of the most common questions on everyone's mind following what happened, what really is a crowd surge that everyone's referring to with regards to the concert? How does one take place? As the name suggests, a crowd surge involves a huge group of people basically pushing forward. They push and push until the ones at the front don't have any space left, and it gets really congested as a result. In fact, crowd surges often get so intense that many people simply suffocate from the lack of air. It's said that a crowd surge creates enough force to bend steel, and you can imagine the effect it has on humans. The casualties that took place in Travis's concert are completely normal with what happened. But believe it or not, the recent instance wasn't the only one where a group of people became reckless and ended up endangering their fellows' lives. Crowd surges are more common than you'd think. Like back in 1979, 11 people ended up losing their lives because a crowd tried to break into a concert by The Who. Also back in 2015, more than 2,400 people died at the annual Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia when two crowds had a collision. Oh, and crowd surges are also referred to as human crushes. So if you use that phrase later in this video, don't get confused. Okay, back to the main topic now. What happened at the recent Travis Scott concert? So the concert that took place on Friday night local time in Houston for the two-day Astroworld concert began on time. 50,000 people were assembled for a night they thought would be magical, listening to their favorite rapper live. But little went as planned, and Travis himself was left completely mortified from the events. Concert started on time and Travis appeared on stage according to schedule. Crowd started pushing forward shortly after 9 p.m. local time, and soon it all turned into this huge mess. The crowd had pushed past the point of any space for the ones in the front, and soon they found themselves being squeezed till they no longer could bear. The tragedy has taken 8 lives so far, and many more are injured. The Houston Fire Chief Samuel Peña reported himself. Many survivors have also spoken out about the terrifying incident. Madeline Eskins, an intensive care unit nurse, was one of the 50,000 concert attendees along with her boyfriend. She decided to share her horrific experience on Instagram, saying, "So, right when he started performing his first song, I looked at my boyfriend and said, 'We have to get out of here.' He said, 'I can't wait. We can't. We couldn't.' And then I just remember looking up and passing out. Then I was in and out for a little while. I didn't see anything, but I could kind of feel what was going on. Someone pulled me over a fence and I was sitting in a chair. Then I passed out again. When I woke up, I was in a different area in a chair with a water bottle in my lap." Travis himself was clearly confused while on stage, as he was still performing as scores of people were being dragged away and an ambulance was seen making its way into the venue. He was also heard mentioning the ambulance that arrived. Apparently, the youngest of the people who lost their lives was a 14-year-old. The oldest person who had died was 27. Many were trampled, and even a security officer went unconscious during the commotion. The security officer who went unconscious was administered Narcan, which is an FDA-approved drug to treat overdoses. But why did he need Narcan? Something more at play there? This just opens up a whole new chapter in this story. We'll get into it in a bit, so keep watching. What was the reason behind the crowd surge? Unfortunately, no cause has been traced yet as to what has caused the crowd going berserk. The people who were there, though, have claimed that it was overall just an intense night overall. Everyone was trying to get to the front to get their hands onto the merch, the food, and of course to get a better view of Travis. It's being said that investigations are underway and that the Houston Police Department's trying its best to figure out what went wrong. The mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, has also expressed his condolences on the event. In a briefing for the press, he said that everything is being done by the city to get to the bottom of this, and that he's remembering the families of those who are gone. These investigations that are apparently underway will examine many things, and we'll look at these things shortly. What has Travis said since then, and how have other celebs reacted? Since the concert ended at 10:10 p.m. local time, Travis has released multiple statements. In his first statement, he tweeted how he absolutely devastated and how he's praying for everyone who was affected at the Astroworld Fest. He also expressed his total support for the Houston Police Department. Travis went live after that, in which he seemed very shaken and was telling his fans to stay strong and how his team is working on the event. As for the survivors, they'll be refunded the amount they paid for the festival tickets. Moreover, Travis is trying to reach out to the survivors to find out about their well-being. But such a devastating event has everyone concerned, not just Travis. Artists like Kaylani, SCA, and Maren Morris have all expressed their condolences for the families of the deceased. SCA tweeted how shocked she was from the events and how she's just praying for everyone's impacted. SCA said, "Speechless about last night. I'm actually in shock. Don't even know what to say. Just praying for everyone in Houston, especially the families of those that lost their lives." What have the reports revealed? So for crowd surges like this to be successful, there needs to be a lot wrong going on. And that's exactly what the investigators are trying to find out. Among the things that are under investigation are the barriers that were in place that night and how effective the crowd control was. They'll also be looking at the stage's design and if it played any role in attracting thousands of fans towards the front of the venue. For this purpose, videos and witnesses are being examined and interviewed. However, nothing's been confirmed yet as to whether this was the fault of the festival's organizers. It's being said that the sheer strength of the attendees made it possible to get the situation under control, and casualties were inevitable. During this time, many of the people who would have survived the deadly festival are now demanding answers. Travis is actually facing a dozen lawsuits already, and many more could follow. One of the survivors who spoke to CNN told how unexpected the whole thing was and how it blew out of proportion. Many are also claiming that the situation was allowed to escalate, and had the organizers provided enough security personnel on time, maybe things wouldn't have gotten out of hand. They're calling the organizers a contributor to this tragedy. But let's remember how nothing has yet been confirmed, and it's not enough to rely on claims to make conclusions. The report should be out soon, and justice should definitely be served. Were drugs involved? So the security guard we mentioned previously didn't just pass out randomly. Apparently, as he was busy trying to restrain the crowd, he felt a prick on the side of his neck. Kind of prick you can feel when you're injected. He was examined later and fell unconscious and had to be given the overdose treating drug Narcan. So who could have been behind this thing? Were people deliberately injecting drugs into whoever they could find? There's also recent speculation surrounding this. In fact, the Houston PD itself has noticed a few deaths where the deceased had drugs injected into their system. There have also been rumors that this was all in fact staged and that someone was targeting innocent people on purpose and injecting them with substances. Nothing's been ascertained yet, but if it's true, this is definitely something else. Someone drugging others at a concert? It's become a complete mystery at this point, and many are coming up with their own interpretations of what they think happened. There's also many blaming Travis himself for being a part of this, and even if he wasn't, letting it happen. We're all just waiting on word from the authorities involved, and until then, there's no option but to wait on further updates. That was it for today's video. We hope it was informational. What are your thoughts on the recent tragedy? Do you think refunds are enough on Travis's end? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like this video and also subscribe to our channel. I'll see you next time.